Food distribution with a twist. All People's Pantry is preparing for a food distribution event tomorrow. Unlike other pantries, they focus on providing staples from African, Asian, and Latin American cultures. First Alert 6's Zina Taher explains the difference that can make. Zina?
Yeah, Aaron, this pantry says it's important to have culturally inclusive foods to help people feel at home. They're having a food distribution event tomorrow, and today they got a check from Molina Health Care that's going to cover about half the cost of the items they need. They say it's all part of making people feel at home. Preparations for a big quarterly event, handing out cultural foods to people in the metro.
There was a need. People were knocking at the door asking for help.
He's the director for All People's Pantry. He started the quarterly distribution a few years ago.
We need something that is familiar, something that is more inclusive, something that's they're familiar from their home countries of origin.
The food is available to anyone. It's bought at local stores.
It's very, very unique and important to me that they would be able to come here and buy products that will feed the African community, not just the African community, because they feed everybody.
Felix Ujezi owns African Farms. He's now collecting donations at his store. It's a collaboration of cultures.
If they don't access this food, there's that outcry of homesickness. Not only homesickness, but also there's a culture that is being lost.
Regardless of income, giving people the ability to feel at home and pass cultural knowledge on to the next generation. The distribution tomorrow is also going to connect people to different resources like free health clinics and help with Medicaid. In studio, Zina Taher, First Alert 6.
Yeah, sounds like a great event. Zina, thanks.